It all started with 4 words: "Don't use my name." These words came straight from Sir David Attenborough. He's a man who's seen more nature than most people ever will. Those 4 words hurt Meghan Markle's brand more than any news article. Because when someone like Attenborough speaks, people don't just listen, they believe him. Meghan had been using her fame for a long time. She had Netflix shows and always talked about being strong and mindful. She built her brand by being around famous people. She got close to Oprah, talked about Princess Diana, and even mentioned Barack and Michelle Obama. Her plan was easy to see: stand near powerful people so their shine rubs off on her. But this time, it went really wrong. Her brand, called American Riviera Orchard, was supposed to be her big new project. It looked fancy, with light colors and eco-friendly words, pretty jam jars, photos in gardens, and expensive outdoor stuff. Everything looked rich, calm, and green. And to make it seem better, she quietly hinted that Sir David Attenborough had inspired her. It was a small hint, but people noticed. If Attenborough liked it, it must be good, right? Wrong. He didn't like it. He didn't even know about it. The first time he heard someone showed him his name in her brand ads, that's when he got upset. And for someone who usually avoids drama, his response was really strong. "Don't use my name." That's all he said. And that's all it took to break everything. People online were shocked and laughing. They made funny videos using clips of his nature shows, saying things like, "He saved the planet, not your jam brand." The hashtag #Don'tUseMyName started trending on X and TikTok. Usually, Meghan's team would write a long note to explain things. They'd post a nice video on Instagram. But this time, they said nothing. No press release, no video, just total silence. And that silence said a lot. Because when your brand is built on other people's trust, one no can break it all. And this wasn't just any no. It was from Attenborough. He's worked with kings and queens, gone to wild places, and taught the world about saving nature. He's not flashy or trendy. He's not someone you use to sell fancy jam. He's the real deal. The sad part? Meghan's brand said it was mindful and full of purpose. But this scandal made people think it was fake. Behind the soft lighting and pretty labels, people saw something else. They saw a brand pretending to care about the planet. It looked like it was trying to be real, but didn't do the real work. Once Attenborough said no, everything started falling apart. Old fans, brand partners, and influencers who got free stuff from the brand stopped talking about it. The shine faded. And the worst part? Meghan didn't just hurt her brand. She hurt her connections. Because in Hollywood and rich circles, nobody wants to be seen with someone who just got turned down by a legend, especially not over jam. Attenborough saying no hurt a lot, but what came after was worse. Meghan's whole plan was based on using big names. Say the right names, wear the right clothes, and let people believe it's all real. But now, a person everyone respects drew a big red line. And people started looking more closely. What they found didn't look good. Take the product launch, for example. The brand was shown off like it was the next Goop. It had soft photos of gardens and orchards and looked like a Pinterest board called Rich Girl Life. But behind the pretty pictures and talk of saving the earth, there were big problems. Products were missing or sold out fast. The website teased jam jars that most people never saw. And the eco-friendly claims? They looked fake. People didn't have to look hard. The packaging said recyclable, but wasn't. Some ingredients weren't even local, even though ads said they were. Even the mission of the brand was just fancy words without facts or proof. Still, Meghan stood by it. She didn't say sorry, not until Attenborough's name was dragged into it. Then everything changed. It wasn't just a celebrity jam brand anymore, it was super embarrassing. People who liked Meghan before, even in Hollywood, started walking away. Influencers who were excited about the brand on TikTok now had nothing to say. PR people whispered that her team was freaking out. They were calling, emailing, trying to fix the Attenborough problem quietly. But it was too late. The damage was done. And it wasn't just in public. Behind the scenes, things were messy. Big-name workers who were hired to help the brand, people from places like Apple and Netflix started quitting. 4 important staff members left in just a few weeks. Even People magazine, a magazine that usually likes Meghan, started talking about all the people leaving. That's when people knew this wasn't just bad press, it was a total brand crash. Then came the silence. No live videos on Instagram. No long posts about growing or being misunderstood. Meghan just went quiet. She stayed behind her fancy walls while the story got worse. She usually controls her story, but now she was silent. It was like she threw away her media playbook. There was no way to fix this mess, especially when the person who said no doesn't even care about media games. Sir David Attenborough didn't hold a press meeting. He didn't make a video. He didn't have to. His 4 words had more power than any celebrity ad Meghan could pay for. His trust was not fake. It was real. He earned it by working hard for decades. And someone like that doesn't like being used for ads. People who study business started speaking up. They said the brand would fail unless there was a big rebrand and public apology. People didn't trust it anymore. And if people don't trust your lifestyle brand, you're in big trouble. But Meghan didn't want to say sorry. People close to her said she felt like she was being attacked. She thought it was just more hate against her, but even her fans were getting quiet. When important people from Britain stop supporting you, you're in a tough spot. Meghan had built her brand like a castle of fame, but one no showed that the walls were fake. Now, everyone was watching to see if it would all fall apart. The worst part wasn't the bad news or unsold jam. It was how people now saw her differently. Her image as a smart and thoughtful businesswoman got hit really hard. Not because of a twisted quote or mean headline, but because someone people truly trust said no. When David Attenborough speaks, people don't roll their eyes. They listen. They trust him. So when he said, "Don't use my name," it felt serious, like a final answer. This wasn't just about jam. It wasn't about a lifestyle brand or pretty jars. It was about trust. Meghan had borrowed trust from others for years, and it worked. For a while. Being near the right people helped her. But what happens when one of those people says, "No, not me"? That's when the whole show ends. It was worse because Attenborough isn't some random guy. She couldn't just ignore him. He's been close with the royal family his whole life. He worked with Queen Elizabeth, gave advice to King Charles, and kept a clean, trusted name for years. In the UK, he's like a national treasure. So when he said he didn't want to be part of Meghan's brand, it wasn't just about her. It meant something bigger. The quiet message was clear. The grown-ups are done playing. People were already unsure about celebrity activism. Now they started seeing through it. Meghan's idea of helping the earth started to look more like a costume than a cause. Her green promises felt empty. Her lifestyle brand looked more fake than real. And now, even the people she wanted on her side were walking away. Nothing feels lonelier than climbing the fame ladder and getting stuck halfway. People inside her team said the mood was panic. Meetings were held, ideas were shared. Some wanted a big emotional interview. Others thought they should change the brand or products. Some even said they should shut everything down until things cooled off, but nothing worked. Because the real problem wasn't the jam, it was how people saw her. And how people see you means everything when your whole business is based on being liked. Her silence went on. Some thought she was planning something big. A comeback, maybe with a famous friend. But time passed, and there was still nothing. Just rumors. Whispers of more meetings. Staff changes. PR teams ready to help. And influencers slowly deleting her brand's tags from their old posts. But the internet remembers everything. Screenshots were saved. Memes were made. People had already made up their minds. Meghan Markle tried to use David Attenborough's name to sell jam. And he shut her down with 4 simple words. That short sentence became the big joke. And even when people stopped talking about it, the damage stayed. Her brand became an example of what not to do. A warning story about using fame to seem trustworthy. She wanted to look like a smart leader. Instead, she became a joke online. She never gave a statement. No sorry. No, this was a misunderstanding. Just that same silence she once used to stay in control. Now that silence was just damage control, but it didn't work. Because when the mask falls off, you don't get to choose what people see. And what they saw was someone trying to sell realness without doing the real work. That's a hard image to change, and an even harder one to fix.